Mud. Slippery Jurassic mud. We're on the Shafer Trail. Are we going to make it through all this down to the Shafer Camp, which is 1,200 feet below us? We just don't know. So we're starting out this trip to Canyonlands National Park. We've got a reservation for the Shafer Camp, which is one of the backcountry camps that is part of the White Rim Trail thing, although it's not right on White Rim Trail. It's on Potash Road at the bottom of the Shafer Switchbacks, and it's been raining. The Park Service is warning against slippery conditions on the Shafer Switchbacks. You know, it's a 1,200-foot drop down all these switchbacks, and if you haven't heard about them, but you know, they're kind of hairy. Just if you're driving it, at least for most people. I don't care. But most people don't like a big drop-off right beside the road on a narrow road. So we are going to, first we're going to have lunch in Moab, and then we're going to have we're going to go up to Island of the Sky part of Canyonlands and just kind of start down the Shafer Trail a little ways and see how it's going. And Katya's driving, so this is giving her the off-road experience, the challenge, and so forth. We would really like to get to that camp tonight, and there's two ways in. Potash Road, which is paved for part of it, and then it's unpaved and kind of a mess under rainy conditions. So we're going, and that has Thelma Louise Point on it, by the way. We do want to get there. Then we want to try to get, well, we really want to try to get to the camp down the Shafer Trail switchbacks. That is the main goal right now, and it's making us pretty nervous what the Park Service has announced this morning. But there's no snow on Island of the Sky, according to the webcam that's there. So we think we've got, you know, somewhat of a chance of getting to that campsite. And this campsites are really hard to reserve. The next one available is in June. No, it's actually July, and it's good for a Saturday night anyway. And, you know, it would only be like 105 to 115 degrees there then. So we would prefer to do it under current conditions than out there in the heat where there's no shade. Okay, see the ladder? Almost nobody knows it's there. And I certainly wouldn't trust it. Great lunch in Moab. Now we're heading up to Canyonlands. We're still on 191 here, US 191, and this is a spectacular entrance to Arches National Park. Absolutely love that entrance. It's a beautiful drive up this canyon on State Route 313 heading towards Canyonlands. Always one of my favorites. And I'm starting to see some buds on the willows and the cottonwood trees, so a hint of what's to come. It's gorgeous through here at the fall, by the way. But if you look ahead, you'll see that it's really dark, because that's where we're going, where it's really dark clouds up there. So we're still pretty nervous about getting down to camp under those circumstances. Navajo rocks here on our right are just gorgeous, especially when it's sunny. Not many people mountain biking today. The trails are still pretty wet. This is a major mountain biking area on all sides of us here. But we're looking at those clouds to the left as we're swinging around here right in towards them. That's where we're going. That's where Island of the Sky and Canyonlands is, and the Shafer Trail. So down here, it's actually getting to be kind of nice. But it's raining up there. We're approaching the park entrance, and it's really raining hard here. Our big concern is that this Jurassic clay on the dirt roads muds up on just clings to tires, clings to everything, boots, whatever. But it clings to the tires, and you lose all your traction. Your treads don't hit the ground. It's just mud, and it slides around. They can get really slick, and so this is pretty dicey. So we're heading into the park here. Should be at the entrance station pretty soon, but that does not look good at all. Okay, we just turned on to Shafer Trail. The entrance station was closed and there was no line, and I can see why, because it's a mess. Up here, lots of people were leaving. So we're just going to go down a little ways, and then I'm going to look at the tires, and we have a big white spot down here by the cliffs. But currently this road is not going to be a problem. Nothing like a little washboard. Probably gets belted out in the camera, but it isn't here, and I'm not going to get out and air down for this. Not worth it. Getting wet for what? Okay, we're bouncing around in here quite a bit, and there is some mud on the road now. So when it's not raining, this is absolutely gorgeous drive down through here. Right now, it's, for those of us who are more experienced on it, this is pretty interesting, actually. Much more challenging than usual. Okay, we're stopped here to let a couple of vehicles pass. It's actually pretty wide compared to what it used to be, especially, but everybody's tires look clean. They look really good. So we're really good to go, I think. At least continue on and see what happens. Maybe they didn't go all the way. I mean, that's also another factor. So this is not really what we call a shelf road for off-roading, because a shelf road, you've got a steep cliff right next to on one side. It's narrow, just one car wide, and the drop-off is immediately on the edge of the road. And here you've got a little berm, which is like a major safety enhancement. It's a little dirt berm, but it's something. And it is, you know, a ways before it drops off over 1,000 feet from where we are right now. And above us is the island in the sky viewpoints and so forth that look down the Shafer Trail, which on a nice day you get a great view of the Switchbacks. But this weather being pretty ugly, probably not going to bother with that kind of photography for this trip. Maybe tomorrow we'll get something, but we're going out, I hope, Potash Road tomorrow. Okay, the ruts are getting deeper in some places. And we are in mud ruts mode, by the way. So it's almost like four-wheel drive. And for this road, it should be more than enough for four-wheel drive. Okay, I stepped out to check the tires, and they're still functional out here. It's raining pretty good. Of course, the van's starting to get gunked up a bit, but you know, we can survive that. But as long as we don't have that clay balling up on the wheels, that's the big deal. Okay, the trail's narrowing down. Fortunately, Katya isn't bothered by big cliffs beside the trail here, or in mountain biking. She's been right there with right along the edge of mesas and big cliffs and drop-offs and so forth. And she's been on like Angel Landing Trail in Zion, and climbed up Half Dome and stood on the edge and looked down at the valley. So she's got the courage to do this, and there's a whole lot of people who would right now would be very, very uncomfortable. And I trust her driving. There's little rocks falling down beside me here. Nothing big so far. There's a Jeep down there waiting for us to get through here. So while he's got the right of way, everybody really just works it out. He could see us coming down. He didn't probably know there was a white spot here, so he just gets out of the way. It's like really nice folks on this trail. Always really nice folks on this trail. Okay, now we're starting to drop down. We're coming off this shelf, and we're heading into the famous Switchbacks, or infamous Switchbacks, according to some people. doesn't have anything to communicate to us about. Probably should have put the GRMS radio on. Okay, how are we doing below us? Why don't you just stop for a moment and take a look down? And nobody around?
Mm-mm.
Great, let's go for it. Okay, here's a nice, somewhat tight little switchback. This is where the short transit van really pays off. When you get into the tighter switchbacks. It's almost snowing, by the way. Okay, you want to hit your brakes a little bit? See how you're doing? Feel comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
Looks good, huh?
Yep.
Good control. Okay, now as you can see, we're looking way, way down there. There's the switchbacks far, far below us. Maybe 1,000 feet below us, something like that. So I was hoping for red waterfalls, which are just beautiful during the rain, but it doesn't look like we're getting enough runoff to have a really big red waterfall here. Okay, go wide just in case there's somebody coming. You're already in position to. Yeah, it looks like it's all clear here. Looks great. I'm looking below us to see if we have anything down there. There's nobody coming up that I can see. A few little spots I can't see. It looks like we've got everything to ourselves. Okay, nice and tight through here. Beautiful. Wow. Doing Shafer Trail in a storm. This is terrific. For me, Katya is being very quiet. She is really concentrating. There's a lot of people struggle just driving this. Oh, we got a little waterfall. I'm pretty sure there is nobody even looking out there on the flats. So the nice part about this is we don't have to pull over anywhere, but there are quite a few spots to pull over. So experienced off-roaders wouldn't really have a problem here. People are used to mountain driving or something. You wouldn't have a problem. Okay, this is a tight one. Take it slow, take it wide. Great job. Wow, you're nailing it. Yeah, one of my biggest concerns is a rock will come down and block the trail here at some point. I don't think this storm is strong enough to cause a significant amount of little landslides like that, but it could happen. Just another challenge, huh? Another cool switchback. So mountain bikers doing the White Rim Trail usually come down this, and of course it's just coasting and brakes all the way. Van's tipping a little bit on that corner. Looking good. So we're coming up to another switchback here. Got to cut it really tight. It's really steep. Really tight. Really tight. Yeah, look at that out there. Yeah, it seems like at any time one of those big rocks can come down and crush us. Cheery thought on a rainy day. But we have a couple of nice bottles of wine waiting for us. We get to camp, we can turn on the propane heater, be nice and warm in there. We have a little propane fireplace for tonight that we haven't used yet, and hopefully the weather accommodates us a bit more and we can do that. Because you can't have campfires in Canyonlands backcountry, only in the developed campgrounds. So this, I don't recall now, but I think this may be the last switchback. There may be one more beyond that point in the distance. So this is big country here. You know, the camera is wide angle, so it's going to make everything look a little farther away than we see it with our eyes. But you also get to see more than you could see if it was 55 millimeters or so, which is where the 55 millimeter lens is generally what the eye sees. That's if I remember my photography from long ago. Now I just push buttons. I think that's what most of us are doing. Lose our photo skills. Okay, we got a few little rocks here, nothing big. Well, the creek in the bottom of the canyon has actually got some water in it, but not enough exactly for, you know, like salmon to come upstream, or trout, or anything else. But of course we're off the muddy Colorado River, and the only thing in there is sticklebacks and suckers. So there's no significant fishing in the Colorado River down here. You have to go much farther up in the Rockies. We had a little surprise. We came around a corner to Bronco in a Jeep, but this is the last sort of switchback. It's not really a switchback. The road just kind of turns sharply, and then that's it. That's the end of the Shafer switchbacks, and it's pretty much just a rollout down to camp, I hope. Now when we get off, see, we're on Shafer Trail Road, or whatever you want to call it. Most people call it Shafer Trail. When we get down here quite a ways out there on the flats, then it turns into White Rim Road to the right, or straight actually, and we make a more of a left onto Potash Road, and we just got to go down Potash Road. It looks like less than a mile to that backcountry camp, and it looks like it has a low-grade coal seam right here on the left. Coal seams are all over this country and up in the Rockies. There's just a lot of them. Most of them are really low grade, no commercial value. So this was my understanding is this is a mining road for uranium a long time ago. The uranium miners put in roads all over the place, and we'll be exploring those in the future. Okay, this is it. Moab via Potash to the left. Shafer Campsite. Day use restroom. 0.5. That's our destination.
Okay.
And straight ahead is the infamous White Rim Trail.
So right here, yeah?
Somewhere right over there. Got to cross the slick rock and start dropping down. So there are some ledges in here, as I recall. So we've never come down this trail. We've never gone this direction. We know the other direction. So the different points of interest or whatever along here are a little new to us. Now this road can be pretty narrow climbing up here, so it's looking to see if I see anybody coming, because we can easily back up here and give them a right of way. I don't see anybody down there. Well, at least that's what's nice about this time of the year, and mid-March and even wintertime. We were here a couple of days after Christmas going the other direction. So this is pretty much all year round. But it wasn't wet then, it was dry. But in the summer, you know, all through the, especially spring and fall, but also in the summer, people drive this all the time. Of course, they're in air-conditioned vehicles. because it's pretty toasty out here. And try to remember all the pullover spots. And this kind of thing can be kind of crowded. So fortunately along here, there's good pullouts everywhere, and you can fit 2 full-size vehicles side by side going passing each other through here. And somewhere down here, pretty soon, is going to be our campsite, this precious campsite that we managed to reserve when nobody else wanted to camp out here. Or they canceled. Alright, so a lot of the rest of Potash Road, there's a couple of narrow spots, but they're pretty short. So passing usually isn't a problem on Potash Road. And potash is a mineral, it's used in fertilizer and some other things. You can look it up on Wikipedia. Potash is what it's called. And tomorrow we'll be going past the Potash Ponds, which are turquoise and really beautiful, especially with this red rock around them. Really, really scenic. Okay, we're dropping into a very modest switchback. And since we're coming down, we have to yield right away to anybody coming up. Although a big Ford F-150 or something did back down a little bit for us so we could get out of the last of the really tight spots there on Shafer Trail. And just for orientation, we are on Potash Road here. Okay, well, Katya's drove through streams bigger than that. Meanwhile, I'm going to look for salmon. I guess that's the old Alaskan in me, as you look for the spawning salmon. But clearly this is not a place to find salmon. And for those of you who don't realize that salmon don't come up into this region at all, it's just trying to be funny, so hang in there. My wife married me because I'm so funny that she laughs all the time. There it is, there's camp.
Oh, nice.
It's a little sloped. We may put the blocks out, but usually we're so lazy we don't. Okay, here's the camp. It's nothing more than a toilet, and they put rocks on both sides like that, and it's pretty small, but look at the scenery here. This is absolutely stunning. Let's zoom in a bit here. There, now you get a better idea. Well, you can see with your eye. Little toadstools up there. Looking down canyon. So hopefully tomorrow we'll have some sun. But for now, this is camp. And the Transit and my wife did a great job coming down here in the rain. And going down is far scarier than going up Shafer Trail. I mean, because you're looking out and down 1,000 feet. When you're climbing up, you have to kind of make a little work at it. But in this case, she just did it. To your victory, huh? Your great victory that she had there. I mean, she nailed it. This girl has never driven in those kind of shit conditions before. And with a big van like this, not a very big van, but a van. And she did it anyway. And I'm really proud of my wife for pulling this off. And then she comes up with this really wonderful hors d'oeuvre right here of, okay, you want to explain what you've actually done, because you know better than I do.
It's avocado with fresh mozzarella pearls and small little tomatoes, balsamic glaze, and a little olive oil and a pinch of salt.
And for you Jeepers out there, you know, it's raining outside, but we don't have to be there. It's nice and warm and cozy. We have the propane heater going down here. So it's like 74 in here, and we're dry and comfortable, and Katya can make up these really great meals. Okay, Katya, can you explain what you got there?
Well, I have a really good set of knives. Was a present from our friend Jeff Petty. The Damascus steel knives. I sharpened a few of them that I'm going to be using right now to cut this rack of lamb to lamb lollipops. Let's see how it's going to work. So lamb was already pre-cooked in sous vide for 4 hours at the temperature of 120 degrees. So I'm just going to finish it in this on this grill pan after I cut it and brush some olive oil, and we'll have some asparagus going with it as well. So I use some branches of rosemary and thyme to spread the olive oil. Let me give some good smell. We'll wait when it's ready.
Dinner from inside the van. So Katya could have cooked this up inside, but she really wanted to cook it outside, partly because she thought it might kind of smell up the upholstery, because we are very upholstered in this van. So she really likes to cook it outside. Besides that, she just loves to cook outside. So because we can't have a campfire here in the national park, in Canyonlands anyway, except in the developed campsites, and this is not considered one, then we can't, she has to cook on the propane, but still, it comes out very good. And right now, the inside of the van smells like lamb. It smells really, really good, and we're hungry.
So we have pita that we warmed up in our 12-volt oven, asparagus lamb with tzatziki sauce, and the mint jelly.
Good morning from Shafer Trail. Oh, it's dried out a bit. I only hate all that water all over the place. When you live in the desert, you like dry and warm. Anyway, it was like 32 degrees when we went to bed last night. It's 42 degrees this morning, which is a nice break. A little sun coming up. Let's swing around here. And, okay, that's looking kind of optimistic. But then I looked over there, and it's still yuck. So that's the way it goes. Let's walk out this little trail here, because I've never been out here. And zoom out back a little bit so you can see more terrain. Or you can see me in the morning. Okay, only my wife wants that. Actually, I'm not sure she even wants to. So, all this red rock, I keep forgetting which layer is what name, Kayenta or something. We just call it mudstone because, see, it looks like layers of mud, which is exactly what it was. It was at the bottom of a sea, and when the Colorado Plateau got pushed up, it got pushed up, and all the sediments on top of that sea were eroded away down to here, and then these will continue to erode away. So like you got this, the strange rock formations like we have everywhere in the Red Rock country. So these signs say boundary. So apparently this is the campground boundary where you can put tents. And it's pretty nice. So this is going to be a view, little view, of the road we're going on. You ready for this? Big reveal here. Really big reveal. Okay, yeah, dirt road. And it looks pretty good shape. It looks pretty dry. So we won't muck up the van too much. The stream down there is pretty much quit flowing. Not much happening. So there wasn't much runoff from this. There's nothing like, if we were out here in August, when you get the monsoons out of Mexico, huge dumps of water with that hurricane type events. And in that case, these little gorges and stuff become crazy. So it was warm and cozy in the van last night. I had the propane heater going, and we just slept like logs. Like, we sleep better in the van than we do at home. And even though our home is kind of close to big red cliffs like this, it's like when you're out here, it's just so much higher quality sleep. Look at all the room for tents, huh? Wow. But there's still room here for vehicles. So it's sloped a little bit, which is nice because the water runs off. And it's also nice when it's been raining because camped on slick rock is much better than camped on mudstone, which turns into mud. Uh-oh, she's smiling. And I think there's going to be some coffee happening pretty soon. And she's warming up some muffins. Okay, this is our breakfast arrangement. And it's a small table, but Katya makes use of it. And she's using the Road Pro here to bake up some muffins. Actually, they're already pre-made muffins from City Market in Moab, but they're warmed up in this Road Pro little 12-volt oven, which we adore. We love this thing. You can, even when I'm just on my own, then I can warm up leftover hamburgers or pizza or something like this. And we've recommended this for a lot of years. Okay, we're getting going in the morning, and we haven't seen any traffic so far today. But that's going to change as we get down closer to Moab. Crowds will be coming in. So we're driving down a wash here. It's pretty fun. Some ledges, but Katya decided not to take on ledges this morning. But we'll give her that opportunity on another trip. And here we go. We're going to be on BLM land. Canyonlands National Park. That was a very nice day. But we do have some interesting terrain to get through here to get over to Thelma Louise Point. Not quite as nice. Potash Road is not as nice as Shafer Trail. It's got a few more challenges. It's got a few more ledges. Not a big deal, but certainly it's rougher. Yeah, we get to look down in these big canyons as we go by. Millions of years of rock. What do we got here? Oh, it's pretty bouncy. So we don't need mud ruts mode or anything here. Regular all-wheel drive is just fine. Actually, rear-wheel drive is just fine, but all-wheel drive will give you a little more confidence. Oh, getting bounced around. Okay, we're still getting bounced around a lot here. This isn't really technical, it's just really, really bouncy a lot. So the video stabilization in the iPhone will probably mitigate some of this, but if you're in the van itself, you're getting knocked around quite a bit. Okay, below us is the Colorado River, and snow melt hasn't started in the Rockies yet, so it's still fairly low. But it's pretty dirty from the rains in the last couple of weeks. And it's dark outside because we got very heavy cloud cover today. You know, the cattle really feel they own the road, but we can get around this guy as long as he doesn't kick the side of the van. They're pretty mellow animals usually, but not always, especially the bulls. The cows are always mellow, but the bulls are, they can be something else. In Kodiak, Alaska, I got chased by a big Angus that didn't want me fishing in his creek. Okay, we're coming up to a real shelf road up here. Okay, here's the shelf road, and it's short, but as you can see looking down, it's pretty gnarly down there to the river. So right here, yeah, see how it's like washed away right there, and Katya's hoping to keep the top of the van from getting scraped off on these overhanging rocks. But it looks like we've got plenty of clearance, and fortunately we didn't meet anybody, so nobody had to deal with backing up, but it's actually quite easy here, and it's wide enough in this spot to easily pass. Thelma Louise Point. So the vehicle went off of here somewhere and down there, and we are out on the actual point itself. Fantastic out here. So yeah, if you recall, the police are all lined up back against that cliff more, where the Potash Road is, and then the girls drove up here and off into oblivion at the end of a girls' road trip that had a little bit of problem and ended kind of badly. So now, looking back to where we camped last night, let's really zoom here. We're getting at least a little bit of sunshine back in there. So that's back in Shafer Canyon, that area. And then if we look up here, you can see the railing on the edge of the cliff for Dead Horse Point State Park. And that's the big overlook that looks down here on Thelma Louise Point. Now that you're totally oriented, but still we got, the clouds everywhere, and this is March. And in March, you get what you get. I've had very heavy hail while mountain biking out here. And here's Thelma. Oh, maybe it's Louise. Or actually, it's probably just Katya, without a gun, without all the drama of the movie. But still, look at how amazing it is. Okay, see them up there? They're like 10 feet off the ground or something. Let me get in a little closer. So yeah, pretty vague. But, it's kind of cooler along here. A little few more over there. Hey, these guys are like 20 feet, 15, 20 feet in the air.
But that's fine, right?
And it just goes along for a whole panel. There's a recent rock cut, but then there's another panel over here with even more. Lots of them. So, yeah, it's a good, convenient place, very popular place to look at petroglyphs and pictographs. Also, there's pictographs here. Pictographs are like a painting kind of idea. You're painting a human or something, and petroglyphs are just like marks. Oops. As we drove out Potash Road towards the pavement, I didn't realize that the microphone cable for the GoPro had, dropped in front of the lens, and you probably don't want to see that very often or very much. And also, Grand County had graded the roads so much that a lot of the fun parts were taken out. They buried over some really good ledges. So it's almost sedan worthy at this point. So not much for you to look at anyway. So thanks for watching.